Hi everyone, welcome to Sceptics Space, your place to question and explore issues of God and faith. I'm Matt White. I want to talk with you today about a remarkable man called Viktor Frankl. Viktor Frankl was an Auschwitz survivor, the concentration camp. He was also a psychiatrist, and after he escaped the concentration camp, he wrote a book called Man's Search for Meaning, a remarkable, devastating, eye-opening book. Now, we've been looking at this whole issue of God and suffering. Where is God in suffering? And I wanted to introduce Frankl because he's probably more qualified than me to talk about suffering and how to think about it and cope with it. In the book, Frankl talks about how some people in the camps, completely understandably, just gave up. They stopped fighting to survive and they lost any hope. Or, he observed, they also just lost their kindness or just became brutal and savage almost in their determination to survive. It's an eye-opening and heartbreaking read, but there was also a group of people who somehow, even in the face of the worst evil and suffering you could ever imagine, kept their sanity and kept their kindness. And Frankl observed that it was the people who were able to see meaning in their suffering who were able to somehow endure and to keep hope alive in the most difficult, unspeakably difficult circumstances. It was often people of religious faith, actually. Now, of course, what Frankl observed does not prove that God exists. However, it does pose a powerful existential question to each and every one of us. And the question is this: do we have a meaning that suffering can't take away from us? I'm asking this because it's possible to hold a philosophy that is rational and coherent in its own way, but is existentially unlivable. It's possible to say that God does not exist, there's no objective meaning to life, but to not face up to the price tag that is paid for believing that. Viktor Frankl saw the price tag that we pay when we can't see deeper meaning in our suffering, and it was, quite literally, the difference between life and death. And so what if believing in God could actually help us to think about and endure suffering? Or as Frankl himself put it, life is never made unbearable by circumstances, but only by lack of meaning and purpose. I'm going to do a few more videos carrying on this massive subject of suffering, and I'll be giving some of the philosophical responses that I've found helpful. And I'll also be talking about why I think Christianity has a secret weapon when it comes to this whole issue of God and suffering, and how the cross can help us to find meaning in our suffering. Thanks so much for watching. If you'd like to follow this series of short answers to big questions, consider subscribing, and see you soon.